Greetings Internet, it's Dustin again with My Home Kid Home, back again with another one for you for video 2 in our Smart Light Strip Roundup. In this video, we are looking at the LS2 SmartGlow Light Strip by VOCOlinc. Now, this is the successor to the video that we did last time on the LS1 Smart Light Strip. And this has some really kind of interesting features, and I am a little bit confused on where this particular light strip stands in terms of the overall product offering from VOCOlinc. So what we'll do in today's video, we will unbox the device, we'll set it up using the Linkwise app, we'll look at some of the features in the Linkwise app, then we'll look at what we can do with it in Apple's Home app, and at the end I will give you my thoughts and opinions on the device. This review unit was provided to us by VOCOlinc for the purposes of this review, but you will be getting my unaltered and uninfluenced opinion on the device itself. Well, I think that's all I can really say about that. Let's get into the unboxing. So right off the bat, if you're familiar with the LS1, one of the things that you'll notice is that the packaging here is significantly reduced, which is a very strong point in terms of what VOCOlinc was able to do with the new version of their light strip. We get essentially all of the same components. We have our controller, our power supply, and the light strip itself, although we are missing a few things like the cleaning supplies, but we do get most of what we got with the LS1. Now, some of the differences here is that the LS2 has a luminous output of 250 lumens as opposed to 550 per meter with the LS1. The LS2 also is not rated for outdoor use, so you'll want to keep that in mind as well. Also, we can only extend the LS2 up to 4 meters as opposed to 10 meters with the LS1. So jumping into the App Store here, we look at the Linkwise app, and we'll use this one to actually set up the device, although we can use Apple's Home app or essentially any third-party HomeKit app. But we'll go ahead and use the Linkwise app here, and we'll tap the Add Device button, then we'll tap on Lighting there on the left, and once we've done that, we want to go down and find the LS2, not the LS1, so don't confuse that. So you'll want to select the LS2. Here are some troubleshooting tips that you should be aware of in case you have troubles, but in the event that you're ready to go for that, we'll tap the little circle, then we'll tap Add Device. And here we are with our user manual. We'll go ahead and flip that bad boy over and scan our QR code there. And the suspense is killing me, but it didn't work the first time. Now, this isn't all that uncommon, and what we want to do when we're trying to troubleshoot for these sorts of things is first look at your Wi-Fi, right? So if you go over to your Wi-Fi settings, you'll notice down there at the bottom it'll have a link that you can click, and you can connect to the Wi-Fi for this device itself, and it'll go through the whole process of setting it up in Apple's Home app as well, and that worked just fine. So while we're in Apple's Home app, let's go ahead and check out what we can do. Of course, we can change the icon, we can change the name, we can also change the room if we would like, so we can assign it to any of our existing rooms, or we can create a new room if we so desire. We can also choose to add it to our favorites if we would like. So essentially that's what we can do. So if we toggle the tile, right, if we tap on the tile, it'll toggle on and off, which is no surprise to any of you who are familiar with lighting in the Home app. We can also long press on it, and then we can adjust the up-down slider to adjust the brightness. If we look at the color, we can go through our presets here, but if we tap Edit in the middle, we can go through our 16 million color wheel there, and if we tap on the bottom right, we can also choose between the different temperatures there as well. Going into our settings, we have similar settings that we did before. Of course, we can change the icon, we can change the name, we can update the room, we can also now add it to a group now that it's been put into a specific room. We can also delete the accessory from here if we would like as well. Looking at the Linkwise app, if we long press on the device, we'll see that we have a firmware update. VOCOlinc is very good about these sorts of things, so we'll go ahead and update the firmware just like that. So in terms of what we can do here, we can of course rename the device if we so choose. We can also choose the color from the wheel, and you can see that in the background there the light strip does kind of change color and give you an indication there. We can slide left and right to adjust the brightness there, and also toggle it on and off on the button on the right there. Now going over to the Moments tab, of course we can look at our colors, and we can again adjust for all the colors, and we have our up-down slider here for the different cool and warm whites. But at the top there, if we tap on the lighting effects, we have a few different lighting effects here, and let's have a look at what those look like. So looking at our first one, which happens to be Flow, this is my favorite one, right? So this is a gentle kind of color shift between the 6 different colors there. We can also adjust the interval between the different colors. We can adjust the brightness as well, and of course you can see there we can choose from between 6 different colors. Our next one here is Breathe, and this is kind of a pulsating, kind of fading in and out of the different colors as well. Again, we can choose the interval cycle as well as the brightness and the 6 different colors for this one. Our next option here is the candle, and you'll notice that we can't really change the color here, but we can adjust the interval and the brightness as well. I could actually see this being pretty nice in the winter time to kind of give you that sort of fire ambience as well. Now looking at our next lighting effect, the blink effect, as you can see it's a pretty intense shift between colors, not a whole lot of fading there if any, and this would be great for a party if it's kind of a more energetic party, or maybe if you're listening to music. And again, one of the great things about the Linkwise app and these effects is that you can adjust the intervals and the different colors and things, so that makes it quite a bit more useful, I think. Looking at our next effect, we have the flicker effect, which is essentially the candle effect. However, we can change the color here. So what it does is kind of randomizes the kind of, essentially kind of a breathing effect, right? Except that it's more randomized and kind of changes the brightness as well. And as you can see here, we can adjust the color of this effect, which I think is quite nice, and you know, really can add some ambience and some kind of random changing in mood and atmosphere, which really kind of helps to, you know, set the mood, if you will. Now, I didn't show it in this video, but the LS2 SmartGlow Light Strip also has the ability to use their daylight feature, and if you want to check out how that looks, I'll go ahead and link a video up above and in the description box. So if you are familiar with the LS1 offering by VOCOlinc, you'll notice that there are some pretty interesting differences between the LS2 SmartGlow Light Strip and their initial offering. First is the big one, the lumens, right? So the LS2 comes in at about half of the amount of lumens as its predecessor. Also, one of the interesting things is that with the LS1, we're able to extend it with extension packs up to 10 meters. And with the LS2, we can only extend it up to, I believe it's 6 meters. So that's a little bit interesting there. I'm not quite sure where that came into play, but that is what it is. In terms of the color saturation, I really didn't see any noticeable difference between the LS2 and the LS1. I thought those were pretty even there, which is, I think, pretty good and a pretty acceptable level for a light strip. In terms of the features offered to us by the Linkwise app, as we saw, we do have 5 different lighting effects, whereas the LS1 only gives us 3. We also have the added benefit of the daylight scheduling feature, which can really help us to energize in the morning with a cooler white and kind of calm down and start to relax in the evening with a warmer white, which can help to maintain our circadian rhythms, which ultimately will regulate our sleep patterns. Now, I mentioned in the LS1 review that I had planned on using that in the project that we'll look at the end of this series, but I have since decided to change out the LS1 for the LS2 because where I'll be using this particular light strip is in an enclosed environment. I don't think I'll necessarily need all of the lumens that the LS1 has to offer. So ultimately, what do I think between the LS1 and the LS2? I think they're kind of two separate, different devices. If you need something that's a little bit stronger, maybe you need an outdoor rated light strip because the LS2 is definitely not rated for outdoor use, then you'll want to go with the LS1. If you need something that's a bit longer, you'll want to go with the LS1. If you're looking for something that's interior, right? If you're looking for something that's maybe a bit shorter, you're not so worried about length, then definitely consider the LS2. I think it's a great source, and you also get extra benefits from the daylight schedulers I mentioned, as well as the lighting effects. So as I asked in the last video, I'd like to hear from you guys on different ideas that you have for using light strips in your HomeKit setup. Let us know in the comments down below. Also below the video, there is a link to pick up the LS2 SmartGlow Light Strip if you feel so inclined, as well as links to all of our social media where we do regularly update with different news that's coming out of the HomeKit world. And there's also a link to our blog over at myhomekithome.com. As always, if you found the video useful, give us a great big thumbs up if you would. If you're into this sort of HomeKit related content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and maybe hit the bell notification as well so you don't miss out on any of our new content as soon as it's released. I think I hear the dinner bell ringing, so that means it's time for me to go, but I do thank you for watching, and until the next one, this has been Dustin with My HomeKit Home.